stop sign, right? There's actually two stop signs because the one stop sign is hard to see. Right? We check our mirror, make sure we're not going to get rear-ended. We're starting to slow down. And where would we stop, Mandeep?
We stop before the stop line.
Yeah.
The first white
line.
Good.
All right. When we look both ways, it looks good. And off we go. Good. Right? Remember never to trust just because it's a four-way stop. Some people don't stop, right? So just like if you were walking across the street, you'd look both ways. You have to do that when you're in a car as well.
Okay.
I'm going to turn right here. So yeah, one of the things we're doing is checking our mirror and our blind spot to make sure there's no cyclist there, because you saw that bike route was ending, right?
Yes.
Right. So we stop behind the line. Can we turn right on a red light?
We can on this intersection because there's no
sign. Yeah. So what are we going to do now?
So we roll forward.
Yeah, we're going to roll forward. There's no pedestrians. We're going to creep the car up a little bit. We're looking both ways. Hard to see with that hedge. Yeah. Okay. Check your blinds. Yep. And then right up to speed. Good. There's a sign, so you know you have to be moving your eyes, right? You can't just stare straight down the road. Okay, so we're always looking ahead, but we're always glancing. Remember from online course, okay? The fact that you sort of have a pattern that you use, okay? So you're kind of looking off to the right, almost like sort of, in this case, sort of off into the bush there a little bit, and like front lawn to front lawn type thing, okay? But we're also glancing at our mirror every so often, right? Ministry of Transportation says every 10 seconds. You could actually do it a little bit more than that.
Yes.
You always want to have an idea of what's going on around the vehicle, okay? You always want to have like that awareness. Yes. Okay. So we're checking our blind spot. Why would we check our blind spot? There's a solid yellow line there. Why is that necessary?
Well, there's no physical separation, so there could be another car.
Sure. What if some guy on a motorcycle decided he was going to pass you at that point or whatever, right?
Yes.
And I would say the other thing is that it establishes a habit, right?
Yes.
So the fact is that whenever you're moving your car out of your lane, that you're always looking, right? So as we're sitting here, what are we doing?
Well, we are looking at the rear view mirror, right? So just to be aware of the traffic behind. Before now the light turns green, we're going to quickly scan both sides. There's pedestrian crossing, you go in the intersection.
Yeah, so it's kind of a circle, right? Checking the light, checking the traffic, looking for pedestrians, looking in there, taking a quick glance in the rear view mirror. Again, we're looking ahead. We're watching for a gap in the traffic, right?
Yes.
We're watching as well for
and now I see a gap here, so and there's no pedestrians.
Yep. And then off we go. And we notice that the speed's 60 again, so we want to get right up to that flow of the traffic. Okay, and then once you're up there, you take a quick glance in that mirror again. Because we're on a new road, so we need, again, to know what's behind us now, right? It's a new picture.
Yes.
You can notice the sign there, right? You notice the sign to tell you the state of the right-hand side of the concrete barrier.
Yes.
And you also had the yellow and black, which actually was telling you to do the same thing. You can see there's another one there.
Yes.
Okay, so that where the direction sort of that the lines are traveling downward, that's the side that you want to pass on. You don't want to be on the other side of that.
Yes.
Because you're going to be on the wrong side of the road and you have no way to get to the right side of the road.
So if the lines are pointing down to the right, you stay on the right side.
You stay on the right-hand side, yeah. If you were going in a tunnel, you might have those signs on both sides, and they would both be telling you to take the tunnel and not to drive actually into the side of the tunnel, right?
Yes.
I know it sounds weird, but they're there for a reason, right? Yeah. Common sense would say you take the tunnel, not the side of the hill, but sometimes people are confused, I guess. Yeah. As we're driving down this road, you notice that there's a turn lane. We're going straight, so we want to stay to this side too, right? And you want to check your mirror because you never know when somebody's going to decide to try to pass you there. People do silly things. So we're coming up to a set of lights here. The light's green, but it's been green for a while. So what would you be worried about?
Light changing to amber.
Yeah. So we're going to check. We're past that point of no return that we call it. Right? Yes. Again, right, a lot of this stuff was taken up in the online course. You might not remember all of it. So point of no return is when you're approaching a stale green light. Here's another one in front of us, right? We're going to make a decision. based on our speed, the road surface, which is dry today, it's fairly warm, and actually what's behind us as well, right? So if you check that mirror, right, there is a truck behind us. If we jammed on the brakes and he was too close, he could rear end us, right?
Yes.
So imagine if that was a transport truck, 80,000 pound transport truck. He's got a lot more energy in the truck if he had to stop it, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we want to take that into consideration too, okay? So the biggest factor would always be your speed. The faster you're going, the longer it's going to take you to stop. And what about space here? So we're pulling up behind this vehicle.
So I can see the back wheels of that car on the ground.
Yeah,
so
we want
about car length distance.
So why do we want to leave that distance?
Just in case, if there's another car coming up too fast, so we have space to move forward, or we also have space to actually change lane if we have to change
exactly.
lane.
Okay, so yeah, your mom and dad might say, well, the reason why we're doing that is because if we got hit from behind, we don't want to get pushed into the car in front of us and kind of sandwiched, which is true. Okay, you can imagine whiplash is bad enough. You imagine having whiplash in both directions. Okay, that would be possibly like a life-changing injury. So what we're also concerned about is the fact that what if we're being more proactive? You remember proactive from the course, right? So we're monitoring that mirror as we're sitting there, because I can tell you statistically, most people who do get rear-ended just sitting there minding their own business, waiting for a light. And yeah, so if we noticed we were about to get rear-ended, we're going to try to get out of the way, okay? And we've left ourselves some room in order to do that. You can come up with all the plans you want. If you don't have any room to execute that maneuver, then yeah. You know that, right? On your road test especially, right, you want to stay in the right-hand lane as much as possible.
Yes.
So if you make a left turn and you find yourself in the left lane, they would expect you to make a lane change to the right. Now, you and I live in a city, and we know that sometimes that's just not practical, right?
Yes.
A lot of it may depend. Maybe we're turning left at the next intersection. So, and we know it's a busy area. If we don't get over there early, we're never going to be able to make it, especially with construction. So we might be in the left-hand lane because it just makes more sense. Also because we can see better, things like that, right?
Yep.
So we're going to signal to the right. Now, this is kind of strange. That guy's doing something wrong, isn't he?
Yeah, he's already in the bicycle lane.
So yeah, now if the bicycle lane lines were broken, that would allow us in there.
Yes.
But because that's a solid white line, we're not supposed to be in there like he is, okay? Of course now, he's got an Alberta license plate. So maybe, I'm just saying, maybe he's not familiar with the city, or maybe where he comes from in Alberta, they don't have bike lanes. I don't know. That doesn't give him an excuse for it legally, but, I'm sure one day when you're driving, you'll be somewhere where things are a little bit different and you're really not sure how things are going, right?
Yes.
You can see a sign up here too that's telling you that you need to yield to the cyclist. So you really have to watch. So I would be checking my mirror a lot. It's fall, so you're not going to get as many cyclists, but in the summertime, it's going to be busy.
Okay.
Okay, and we're watching. We've got a red light. You see the people over there got an advanced light to make their left turn. So the red light and the green arrow.
Yes.
So how are you going to handle this with this solid line?
Well, when the light turns green, I will check if the line will actually change to broken white.
Yeah.
If not, then I will stay in this lane and I have to do shoulder check.
Yeah.
Now the line is broken
so we're
white.
checking
So
that mirror.
shoulder check, mirror check, and then we move over. There's no pedestrians here.
And then we're going to go.
There's another bicycle lane, so we go into this lane.
Yeah, very short one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we wouldn't want to turn into the bike lane. We want to turn into the first lane that's traveling in our direction.
Yes.
Okay.
And now I see speed limit sign 60.
Good.
So this light will change any second.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So yeah, good. So all right. So you hadn't even made that point of no return decision yet, which means that we're going to stop, right? But we'd always check our mirror.
Yes.
Anytime your foot's going for the brake, you should be checking that mirror, right?
Yes.
All right. You should be checking it routinely as you're driving down the road. You should check it after you turn onto a new road. Okay. Yeah. It just lessens the fact that you're going to get rear-ended. I always like to say it's kind of like, okay, if you've ever played sports like soccer or hockey or something like that, it's having that sort of 360-degree awareness, right? I mean, you don't need to know what color the person's eyes are behind or beside you or whatever, right? But you know that there's somebody there in your blind spot, or they're going through your blind spot, that type of thing, okay? So, you know, I could literally just sort of stop time, and I could say, okay, what's going on around you? And you can say, well, there's a red car, and he's coming through my blind spot. There he is, you know, that type of thing. So you really have a good awareness. And once you can do that, lane changes will be a lot easier, okay? If you're watching your parents or somebody make lane changes, and you're like, why don't they struggle like I do? I mean, it's the fact that you know, they are very aware of what's going on around them, and then when they go to make their lane change, they're just kind of double checking. Okay. Yeah.